Welcome to this explainer. Today we're taking a truly fascinating journey straight to the very heart of central China. We're looking at a place that is simultaneously a 3,500-year-old historical crossroads and a sprawling, futuristic metropolis packed with over 11 million people. We're talking, of course, about Wuhan. This is a city where mighty rivers physically crash together, where ancient empires have risen and fallen, and where some of the absolute most cutting-edge tech in the world is being developed right this second. It's a city of epic, staggering scale. But, as we're going to see, its true heart, well, that's actually found in its incredibly vibrant street culture.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to start with 3,500 years of history, followed by crossing the mighty Yangtze and nature in the metropolis. Then we'll dig into China's breakfast capital, and finally wrap things up with the modern transformation.
Section 1. 3,500 years of history. You know, to really get Wuhan today, you have to understand that its entire layout is fundamentally rooted in the past. It's like a giant puzzle. Modern Wuhan as a single unified megacity actually didn't even exist until 1927. That was the year's three historically distinct neighboring towns, Wuchang, Hangzhou, and Hanyang, were officially merged together. But human civilization here? Oh, it goes back much, much further than that. It was already a major cultural and economic center way back around 1500 BC during the Shang dynasty. Fast forward a couple of millennia to 223 AD, and we see the initial construction of one of China's most iconic ancient structures, the Yellow Crane Tower. I mean, this is a place that has literally watched history unfold right before its eyes.
And that brings us perfectly to the Yellow Crane Tower itself. Perched majestically overlooking the city, it is a staggering 1,700-year-old architectural marvel. Because of its incredibly strategic location, it's actually been destroyed by wars and natural disasters, and then rebuilt several times throughout history. Just imagine standing in its ornate wooden halls, stepping out onto a balcony, and taking in these sweeping, panoramic vistas of the modern skyline with the meandering river way down below. It's absolutely breathtaking. It acts as this brilliant physical anchor directly connecting Wuhan's ancient soul to its present day.
Section 2. Crossing the mighty Yangtze. Wuhan's identity is entirely defined by water. It sits precisely where the Han River converges with the mighty Yangtze River. For centuries, this geographical jackpot made Wuhan one of the country's most vital inland ports, a natural crossroads for trade, culture, and, frankly, power. And we really can't talk about the Yangtze without talking about its sheer scale. It spans a staggering 6,380 kilometers. That makes it the longest river in Asia and the third longest in the entire world, originating all the way up in Tibet and flowing all the way out near Shanghai. The currents here are incredibly powerful, which, historically speaking, made crossing it a monumental, almost impossible challenge. Now, what's really interesting about this is the stark contrast in engineering eras when it comes to conquering that river. Think about the original Wuhan Yangtze River Bridge. Built back in the 1950s, it was the very first bridge to successfully span this massive river. It's a 1,600-meter-long double-deck road and rail bridge that still stands as this proud, towering symbol of 20th-century steel engineering. But today? Well, today, Wuhan doesn't just rely on one bridge. The modern metropolis is seamlessly knit together by dozens of futuristic bridges, underwater tunnels, and this expansive metro system that just effortlessly shuttles millions of people across these huge bodies of water every single day. It's a total game changer. Section 3. Nature in the metropolis. So, in a sprawling city of over 11 million people, you'd probably expect to see nothing but concrete and neon, right? Well, Wuhan actually masterfully balances its high-speed urban energy with these serene, lush green oases. Let's look at three of these incredible urban sanctuaries. First up is Wuhan University, founded all the way back in 1893. Every spring, its historic century-old architecture gets wrapped in the breathtaking blooms of over 1,000 cherry blossom trees. It is gorgeous. Then there's East Lake. Now, this isn't just a local pond. It's a massive 80-square-kilometer body of water smack in the city center, which makes it the largest urban lake in China, complete with a 100-kilometer scenic greenway. And if that wasn't enough, you have the Wuhan Botanical Garden, a 400-hectare paradise, housing over 6,000 species of plants. These spaces give the entire city a deeply necessary place to just breathe. And this brilliantly illustrates the beautiful duality of Wuhan.
I mean, in one single afternoon, you can step into the Guiyuan Temple, which is this 700-year-old Ming Dynasty sanctuary filled with ancient Buddhist relics and just absolute spiritual tranquility. And then, literally a short metro ride later, you can step out into the East Lake High-Tech Development Zone, better known as Optics Valley. This is a hyper-futuristic hub driving the nation's AI, biotech, and quantum computing industries. The ancient and the futuristic don't just happen to exist near each other here. They actively complement each other.
Section 4. China's breakfast capital. Okay, to truly understand the soul of Wuhan, we have to zoom all the way down to the street level. We're talking about sensory-rich spaces like the famous 150-meter-long Hubu Alley. This is where the city's legendary culinary scene just explodes into a symphony of sizzling woks, deep fryers, and fragrant steam. Here, breakfast isn't just something you casually eat on the way out the door. It is an institution. They actually have a specific local phrase for it, guozao. It basically elevates the act of eating breakfast into a grand, revered daily ritual. It is a core cultural identity for the people here. They don't just have breakfast, they celebrate it.
So the crucial point is understanding exactly what fuels this massive city. First, there's the absolutely iconic Regan mian, or hot dry noodles. These are intensely nutty, rich, and coated in thick sesame paste, soy sauce, and a massive hit of black pepper. Then you have dupi. This is a heavy, umami-packed dish made of sticky rice, pork, and mushrooms, all wrapped up in a crispy golden mung bean skin. Fun fact, actually, historically, they used to cook this using a clam shell. And then there's the Wuhan shamai. This is unlike any dumpling you've ever had. It's so heavily stuffed with glutinous rice and so much black pepper that locals affectionately describe it as basically being a savory box lunch stuffed inside a soft dumpling wrapper.
Now, if you're hearing that menu and thinking to yourself, wow, that is a whole lot of intense, heavy carbs, well, you are entirely correct. And there's a very specific historical reason for it. You see, Wuhan's breakfast culture was born right on the docks. The grueling physical labor of the port workers along the Yangtze River meant they needed incredibly cheap, heavy, energy-packed meals that would literally sustain them for an entire day of backbreaking work. That legacy of glutinous rice, deep-fried doughs, and heavy black pepper survives and thrives on the streets today. And because of the frantic pace of the modern morning rush, guozao comes with this incredible, almost athletic local skill, the walking breakfast hustle. It is an absolute marvel to witness. Locals will expertly grab multiple hot, carb-heavy items from a stall, seamlessly balance boiling hot bowls, chopsticks, and plastic bags all in their hands, and flawlessly slurp up peppery noodles while speedwalking to the metro. Or, incredibly, even while riding a bicycle to work. It is this highly dexterous morning ballet that is entirely unique to Wuhan.
Let's move to our final section and see how all of this builds into the future. Section 5, the modern transformation. While Wuhan is incredibly proud of its deep history and its phenomenal street food, make no mistake, this is a city aggressively sprinting towards tomorrow. The sheer scale of development here is staggering. Wuhan is often dubbed the Chicago of China, simply because it serves as this massive logistical and high-speed rail hub, connecting the country's wealthy coastal provinces directly with its vast interior. And as we mentioned earlier, Optics Valley is a major global player in optical electronics and 5G. They even recently launched a sci-fi-inspired 10.5-kilometer suspended air rail. It's literally an inverted train that glides through the air and, get this, it features transparent glass floors. And fueling all of this innovation is a distinctly youthful, energetic demographic, heavily driven by the more than 80 universities located right within the city limits. From the ancient echoes of the 1,700-year-old Yellow Crane Tower to the roaring, untamed currents of the Yangtze. From serene, cherry blossom-filled university campuses to the vibrant, peppery hustle of a morning street food stall, Wuhan is a city of incredible contrasts and truly unstoppable momentum. So, having seen all of this today, my question to you is, after 3,500 years of history, epic river bridges, and sizzling street food, which side of Wuhan will you explore first? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep staying curious.